Hi, and welcome to Chowski Review. My name is Josh Cho, your host, and today is a special video because I have a really special guest with me, Milton. Why don't you
How you
guys say
doing?
hello, Milton?
Milt Berkson here.
It's actually Dr. Berkson. He insisted me telling you guys out there that he's a doctor, so it's actually Dr. Berkson. What we're going to do is we're going to do a review on the Glenfiddich 12-year-old. I just already finished the lineup with Glenlivet, so I thought it'd be appropriate to do the Glenfiddich. This is a bottle that Milton brought over, so thank you, Milton.
You're welcome.
This is the first flagship bottle of Glenfiddich. It's their 12-year-old, something similar to Glenlivet. They start off with the 12-year-old and then they move up from there. So the 12-year-old is it's about the same range in terms of the cost as the Glenlivet. I would say it's around $30. I don't know how much you bought it for. Do you remember how much you bought it for?
Probably way more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe somewhere, depending on where you are, it can be anywhere from $30 to $50. It's probably around the range for this whiskey. So it's an entry-level Scotch single malt, and it's from the Speyside region, which is in the northern section of Scotland. It's in the same region as the Glenlivet distillery, among other many distilleries. A lot of the distilleries are concentrated in that region, so lots of distilleries in that small part of Scotland in Speyside. And just like Glenlivet, it kind of has a similar characteristic because of these fruity notes. So we'll get into tasting and we'll tell you all about what we think of it. To get into a little bit more about Glenfiddich, the name actually refers to the deer of the valley. That's what I read on the research. So that's why you'll see on the bottle of Glenfiddich, on the label, the deer. So this is what the Glenfiddich bottle looks like. It's green, similar like a Glenlivet, and it's an unusual shape because it's actually shaped triangular, in a triangular shape. So I don't know if you can tell from the video that it's not your normal rounded bottle. It has a interesting triangle shape. The older Glenfiddichs, from my memory of looking at them online, the bottles actually had a sharp edge, much more of a sharp edge triangle shape to the bottle, and they rounded it off later, maybe in the past few years, because it was more rigid and easier to transport and not crack with the sharp edges on the bottle. So they rounded off the edges for the shape of the bottle. Okay, so we'll go straight into the...
You know why it's quite green? I noticed the last, what was it, the Glenfiddich you reviewed?
The
Glenlivet you reviewed was also green.
Yeah, they're both green. That's a good question. I have no idea why they chose the color. I suppose
because
maybe...
Because the years above them are not.
That's right. The years above them are clear. So for whatever reason, that's just how they package their bottles. I mean, I really don't know why they make clear on the ones above it. I suppose because the color maybe isn't as dark when they get older, so they're maybe not trying to make that as transparent until you pour it out. But I mean, the color is actually, when we poured it out, it looked fine. Even though there might have been some E150 coloring added to it.
Yeah.
But it also, it's kind of, I mean, I think I've seen like really old bottles of whiskey before in bars and like bars that show vintage bottles, like as a decor. And a lot of them are green. I don't know if that's maybe a thing that they're trying to pay tribute to older bottles, perhaps. I have no idea. Yeah. So well, why don't we just go straight into the nose and the taste?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So Milton and I, for the past few days, we kind of went through this bottle rather quickly, so we saved up enough for this video. There should be enough for 2 drams.
Should be. It's been the holidays.
Yeah. Good reason to have a single malt Scotch.
Okay.
Alright, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and nose, just like I usually do before I taste, and give you my nosing notes, and then we'll move it on to Milton. He'll give you his take. So just give me a second. So off the bat, really fruity. That's what I first get, like a nice sweet fruit, and I get kind of that clean grassy nose as well, like almost similar to a Glenlivet. I got that from the Glenlivet 12.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
picked any of those two things
I
up.
do get that. I get that and maybe some cinnamon, something spicy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually think
Sharp.
that's a very good note that you picked up, because I do pick that as well.
Yeah.
Definitely vanilla too.
Yeah. It smells like it's gonna taste sweet.
Yeah, and then it's also got that spiciness too. So it's sweet and spicy. It has both that vanilla, has that sweet kind of pear or apple kind of smell, but then it has the spicy cinnamon side at the end too.
Yeah.
And then,
Like a spicy green apple kind of.
yeah, so that's kind of very similar to the Glenlivet, because the Glenlivet note that I gave in my first video was a spicy green apple. I had that spicy cinnamon. So it's not surprising that that's the sort of shared smell that Glenlivet and Glenfiddich have, because the Glenfiddich is also two barrel aged influences. So it has the European and the American bourbon. So the American bourbon oak barrel, that's going to give off that really sweet, fruity characteristic, and then you got that European, which is going to give that spicier sort of cinnamon, sort of nutmeg kind of flavors. And
they use
smells.
2 barrels or
2 barrels. So they age the whiskey
like 6 and 6 or.
You know what, the whiskey, the bottle and the website that I went on for Glenfiddich doesn't really. Too bad they don't really reveal that information.
But it's transferred from one barrel to another.
Either that, or it's 2 separate barrels and then they mix them at the end.
I see.
And it has, however much they mix them in terms of the quantity versus European versus American, I don't know whether it's 50-50, 60-40, or whatever. I suppose it's probably more bourbon usually, because it's cheaper to put whiskey in bourbon barrels, because European oak is a lot more expensive due to its scarcity. The European oak, actually, from what I found out online, is that it's European sherry oak. So it's going to have a sherry influence in this whiskey, which usually what I associate with that is a Macallan or GlenDronach, and those are the raisiny kind of notes, really deep raisin and deep fruits. So I don't really pick that up so much, but I do get a lot of sweetness and spice. So those are the 2 things that I found out, and just before we taste, I kind of want to go on their website just to kind of share what their website includes in terms of the notes. So they say, on their website, they say that Glenfiddich 12 has a distinctively fresh and fruity with a hint of pear. So that's basically...
Pear apple.
Yeah, that's basically what we called, right? You said apple.
Yeah.
I did say pear and apple. I did kind of pick up a fresh fruit, so I definitely agree with that.
I don't get the vanilla so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's okay, yeah. Everyone's going to smell different things. But I think both of us agree with the sweet fruit, and I definitely agree with the cinnamon. I think that was definitely spot on. Would you say that there's any alcohol burn when you smell it at all?
No, I don't really get that.
It's it's almost non-existent, and that's because of the 40%. It's a really low ABV. I'm not going to pour any water into it yet, maybe later, but for right now, we'll go straight into the tasting without pouring any water.
All right.
So cheers.
Cheers.
It's nice and balanced, right? Not too harsh, very drinkable, super easy, smooth whiskey to drink. It's 40% ABV. I don't think I need to add any water. Almost the same taste as what I smelled. I get initial fresh fruit.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I get a green apple, pear, and then I get that spice at the end, cinnamon.
Yeah, I was going to say it's remarkably similar to the nose, and you get this kind of front load of fruit, and then at the end, the back end, you get this like cinnamon spicy kind of thing going on. Yeah,
yeah. So it's I wouldn't say it's. Did you say the finish? Like how long you taste those things? How long do you feel? Do you think it's a sort of a medium finish? Would you say it's a long finish?
It seems like a shorter finish to me. I don't know. It doesn't really linger in the mouth. I don't know if that's because it's a younger Scotch in this line, but...
We wanted to make sure we give you the rating before the end of the video, so out of 10, what would you say you would rate this?
Out of 10, I would say, I'd give this, I'd say this is 6.5.
6.5 out of 10?
6.5 or 7.
Okay.
7, yeah.
Okay, wow, okay, so...
I like the taste, it just wasn't as smooth as some others that are other 12 years that I've had before.
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
But I did like it. Maybe that was a little harsh, but yeah, 7.
No, that's fair, that's fair.
7's above average.
that's right. It's a little lower than I'm about to give, but I think it's a good malt. That's a fair value to give.
If you factor in the low price, you can.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm factoring in the cost, and it's a $30 entry level single malt.
It's a great deal.
I mean, what other $30 single malt 12-year-old are you gonna find in the market? It's really hard. Maybe the Abelard, but that's I think 40 or 50.
Certainly better than some Wild Turkey, which probably costs the same.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Wild Turkey bourbon is a bourbon whiskey, right? So I would probably give it something close to what I gave the Glenlivet. I mean, I think they're pretty much on par. I would say, if I had to call it, probably an 80, 84, maybe an 85. I'm going to stick with 84 though. So 84 out of 100 is my rating, and
I guess mine would be a 65 or 70.
Or 65 or 70, okay.
From a scale of 100 here.
All right.
All right.
So those are both passable. Those are decent scores, and I think in either case we both recommended it. So what we're gonna do is do another video. I'm gonna do one also again with my guest Milton. We're gonna do it on the 15-year-old. So stay tuned. Make sure you leave any comments if you have any. If you wanna, please give me your feedback. It's sort of
I love
kind of the first.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Well, so if you have anything that you want to add to the video, that was totally unexpected.
Yeah. Sorry.
Please leave it, and these are, the first few videos. This I think is like my 5th or 6th video, so please, do forgive me for the sort of
Amateur hour.
yeah, the unconventional ways of editing these videos with the batteries dying out. So until then, cheers, and Owen's gonna provide the outro music.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
I think I've got a drop left.